What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky, and today is a beautiful day. Today, we finally got confirmation that our rental car license was approved. So today, I'm going to be giving you guys all the information on what it actually costs to get my rental car license, how much I'm going to spend on inventory, credit lines, insurance, all that fun stuff, and what's currently going on with my dealership license. So if you're new to my channel, back in October, I took over a place in downtown Las Vegas off of Fremont Street. It's 2 acres. It's got 20,000 square feet of shop space. A great place for a dealership. I believe it used to be either a Buick or Cadillac dealership back in the 50s. But anyways, it's a beautiful spot. I love downtown Las Vegas, and I figured this would be a great place to open up something fun where I can have my rental car company, I can have my dealership, I can do training. So if you guys are interested in actually learning how to be a dealer, learning how to open up a repair shop, or doing rental cars, you could physically come to Vegas and learn it there. So I figured this would be a great thing. Also, with 2 acres, I can have a car show, meetup, stuff like that on the weekends. You know, it'd be a great spot, especially being downtown Las Vegas. But unfortunately, the customer or the previous tenant that was there before did not have any of the correct licensing for numbers of years. So what happened was when I took over the lease, he was an automotive repair shop. If he would have just had his license paid the $110, none of this stuff would have happened. So we've been fighting with the city since then. So make a long story short, if you do not have a current license, they could change the zoning or occupancy, and then whatever's currently there doing business is not grandfathered in. So unfortunately, that auto repair shop never got its license, so now I had to file for a new change of occupancy or change of zoning. Now currently it's rated as a live-in workspace for an arts district. So I don't know how artists or poor struggling artists are going to afford a 20,000 square foot building with a 2 acre piece of land. It's just simply not feasible. So instead, the city decided to let it go to a bunch of homeless people, crackheads, and drug addicts and run all over the place and just trash the place. Now keep in mind, this location is right next to a school. So there's little kids walking by there every single day. I went down to the city, told them I'd like to open it up. I want to re-beautify the area, hire people from the local community, and make this something special. And guess what they told me? Oh, shady car dealerships are bad. Nobody wants them there, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of laughed and I was like, okay, so you'd rather have a bunch of drug addicts chasing kids than a shady car dealership that's paying taxes in that area? So, make a long story short, we talked to a few council people. They were on board because they want their constituents to be happy with a nice, clean area and people that are actually beautifying the area and spending money in their local economy. So they decided to back us. Now, it's been months since I've gotten approved for my dealer's license, and it's going to be another few months before we even get the okay for that. But the good news is we were able to get our rental car license. Now I'm going to tell you how much it's going to cost to get all this stuff started. So simply with my LLC, I paid a total of $500 to expedite it 48 hours. After that, I had to pay for my city licensing, which was another $250. Not that expensive. Next thing after that is we have to get insurance and bond for the actual DMV. So the first was my bond. Now, your bond is based off of your credit. So if you have good credit, it's only going to cost you a few bucks. Not every state has bonds requirements for rental car companies. Just here in Nevada it does. And it was a $10,000 bond. And it cost me a total, I believe, of $300 per year. So the better your credit is, the lower your dollar amount is. If you have really shitty credit, best believe that's going to go really, really high. Next is the hardest thing, is rental car insurance. Now, I'm going to try to do my best to give you guys an adequate breakdown of how it works and what you should expect to pay. Now, first thing I'm going to tell you is if you are a new company, you are going to get screwed. There's no way around it. So just keep this in mind as we go through this process. I've been in the car business for a while, so when I submitted back to my old insurance company that I was opening back up, they do a thing called a loss statement. They want to see how many claims you have against your insurance. I have 0. If you watch my channel, all I do is say, do not ever claim anything on your insurance. Do not do it. And people keep asking me, what's the point of having insurance if you can't claim on it? Is because the insurance companies hold your claims against you. Where if you don't do any claims, your insurance rate is much, much cheaper and it's easier for you to be competitive with rates. If you file too many claims, they either charge you double, triple, or quadruple the amount of what you're paying, or they just cancel your policy all the way and they tell everybody else and then you're out of business because nobody will give you insurance. So here's the difference between somebody with good credit and a good history and somebody with bad credit and a bad history. So it's going to cost me $1,500 to restart my policy, and it's only going to cost me $120 a month per car. Now, since I've been doing this for a while, they didn't have any certain requirements. Now, if you have bad credit or you're just starting, here's the difference. Most insurance companies are going to require you to have 5 to 20 cars together to start a policy. It could be anywhere from $5,000 to $30,000 to start your policy, and depending on your cars, it could be anything from $100 to $400 per month per car for liability coverage. Now, this is very important. You need to understand when I say liability coverage. Most rental car company insurances will not give you full coverage insurance for your rental cars because they're so worried about you losing money in the beginning that they don't want to take on the risk. Now, what does this mean? If you have a car that's financed, you cannot put this insurance on it because you have to have full coverage. The bank has to be protected. So all the cars that I'm putting on my policy, I physically own outright. That's why it's only like $110, $120 a month. Very, very cheap. But once again, I'm never planning on using my insurance. I think my deductible is $10,000 too. My whole goal is to make sure that I do things correctly in the business, so I charge other people's insurance. If it's rented on, let's say, Turo or a hire car, we use their insurance. But everybody else that's public, you have to call their insurance and verify to make sure you never have a single claim. Now, if you're currently a rental car company and you're looking to expand, you can probably get some information from Turo showing them that you don't have any claims against your insurance. Turo hasn't paid any accidents, stuff like that. They just want to make sure that you're financially responsible to actually afford these repairs. On top of that, you have to own these cars and they have to be in your LLC's name. This is why from the beginning, when we started talking about this on my channel, you don't go out and buy 13 cars in your personal name and max out your credit. Because now with this insurance company, the cars have to be registered to my LLC and they have to be paid off. If I do this, my insurance is relatively inexpensive. And the best thing is as I build a track record, if I want to add a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, or something like that, I can do that because I have trust built with the company. For all you newbies out there trying to start an exotic rental car company, it's not going to happen. Your insurance is going to be so astronomical, it's going to be ridiculous. I've only set one up in Houston, and that guy had to put $800,000 away in a separate account in a bond for the insurance company to hold just in case if they had any type of loss of use. And then they were able to insure his cars liability only. And he had to pay all these cars off. He had like 4 or 5 cars that he owned that he had to cash out and only do liability insurance to make sure that he was covering it. That's all the things he had to do to get his exotic rental car company up and going. So that's why I tell people, starting a regular rental car business, not too expensive. To start an exotic rental car business is damn near impossible. So when you see these guys on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram flexing, talking about how they do this all the time, and you see them driving around a Toyota Corolla, you know they don't have the money to adequately insure and correctly run their business. Anyways, so after that, you have to go to the DMV. The DMV is going to give you what's called a short-term lease or lesser license. Depending on your state, they all have different requirements. Go to DMV, get my information. I believe that's going to be another $250. And with this actual number, I can actually go to some DMV auctions, or excuse me, dealer auctions to buy and sell cars. And I'll be able to put myself as a short-term lease or lesser. So if I'm able to rent cars hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. So that gives you the ability to pretty much do it all. So let's go ahead and get into what kind of cars I'm actually going to have in my facility. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I am not going to do any type of exotic cars. One, it's not worth the headache. The ROI is really, really bad. If you watch a few podcasts that me and Houston did, and even with Rob Ferretti, all we do is make jokes about how there's no money in the exotic rental car business. It costs so much money to run it correctly. Plus, Houston's doing that here in Vegas. I would never step on a friend's toes, so I'm going to let them have that. Instead, I'm going to be doing classic cars like 68 Camaros, 67 Mustang Fastbacks, a few Chevelles, Novas, old Cadillac convertibles, fun stuff like that. But then I'm also going to be doing commercial rentals. I'm going to focus on people like that are Uber drivers, Postmate drivers, giving them vans, cars, also dealing with Amazon, getting commercial vehicles with lift gates, so like box trucks. If you guys seen some of my old videos, I talk about box trucks all the time. I'm going to get probably about 10 or 20 of those box trucks with lift gates to rent out to those companies. We're also going to be doing utility bed trucks. So, it's got the cab of either a truck or a van, and then the utility beds so they can use them for construction, plumbing, HVAC, whatever it is. Because I believe that a lot of companies are going to be growing during this economic downturn, and they can't afford to buy these $100,000, $200,000 built-out vans. But if I can buy ones that are used for $15,000 to $20,000 and rent them out for $300 to $400 a week, I think that the market will be really, really high on those. So I think those will do really, really well. So those would be the 2 cars that I'll be renting out the most. classic cars and commercial vehicles. Now, there's always ways you can split this off because with your rental car license, depending on your state, I can rent motorcycles, I can rent boats, I just got to add another licensing on there. You can pretty much do whatever, but it gives you the availability and the flexibility to pretty much make your money from model shoots to a quick film review to pretty much whatever else. Oh, also we're going to do some film cars, but I'll get into that in another video. So now that I have all this stuff set up, what is the plan for the dealership? So currently what we're doing is we have an attorney that's filing paperwork with the city and the city council to get us approved to change the actual zoning for the location. Once we do this, hopefully all of them will vote, say yes, and then we can go ahead and apply for our dealer's license. But we're looking about another 3 to 6 months away. I said that about 6 months ago. I'm praying to God it's not another 6 months, but 3 to 6 months. It could be as fast as 1 month, but I'm just telling everybody 3 to 6 months because I don't have any faith anymore. It's pretty much gone out. But even if I'm not able to get my dealer's license, we will still operate there as a rental car business, and we'll be doing lots of fun builds and stuff like that because unfortunately I won't be able to fix any cars for the general public, only our own cars, but I'll be able to build something where I have some really fun builds coming up. We have a smart car that we're putting a turbo on. That's going to be absolutely hilarious. You guys definitely have to stay tuned for that one. Also, we're going to be kind of changing up the channel because don't get me wrong, I like talking to you guys sitting here in the office, but I know that shit gets boring after a while, and I want to change things up. I want to go out in the field. I want to go out and buy cars and things like that nature. So I'm going to try to do my best to get out there and give you guys better content and more stuff. And the first step is closing this rental car license so we can invite you guys over and actually have people come over because every day on my Instagram, I get people, hey, when's it opening? When's going to happen? Are you going to rent cars, buy cars? As soon as this is open, I'm telling you guys, we're going to have a freaking party. If you guys ever seen my Instagram, I do these Taco Tuesdays where I hire mariachi bands and we eat and we have a taco truck parked in my backyard. It's going to be lit. We're going to have a bunch of food trucks. We're going to have a car show. Everything from strippers to ding-dongs to all kinds of crazy stuff, a slip inside. I will make the party so epic, it'll be ridiculous. But I promise you, I will be doing much better content. Like I said, I like the talking head stuff, but I know it gets boring after a while, and I do read some of your guys' comments. Plus, I feel that once I started this channel, I was the only one. Now, if you think about it, I don't even have to mention names. How many people literally do the exact same thing I do? Give you market updates, talk about stuff. You know, I don't want to do that shit because everybody's doing that. So I'm going to show things that I know they can't do. So once I get the dealership, we'll be able to sell cars, walk you through the process, buying them, fixing them, reconning them, step by step on what it takes to actually make money in the automotive industry. I still haven't seen anybody actually show the whole thing. They either do parts of it, half of it, or none of it at all. So I'm very excited about that. Some really fun builds. We also got some special guests. I've pretty much been on maybe 60 other YouTube channels, but I've never had anybody on mine. So I want to change that up and bring some of my YouTube friends on. I have a few automotive YouTube friends, but most of my YouTuber friends are financial or some other type of channels, which I think will be pretty hilarious. We're going to do some of their builds on my channel as well and just kind of talking about it. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any ideas for some new videos, put it in the comment section below. I truly appreciate it. If you guys have been an OG subscriber and watched since day one, it's truly amazing how fast everything's coming together. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.